Salutations, sleuths. I'm Gina.
I'm Maria.
And we are
Fortuitous.
Boom!
Have you heard about this Trump during the debate? How he said they're in Springfield, Ohio, they're eating pets.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the
they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people.
Did they mean like Springfield, like Missouri?
No, Ohio. So this morning on the news, the town is going nuts.
Because they're like, we don't eat the cats?
The Haitians, specifically. Like the Haitian community.
Yeah. Is that who he was
saying is doing it? Yeah. So he's creating these false
news, fake news.
Fake news, right. And then it's terrifying people.
Well, yeah. So
people are like keeping their pets inside. Like, you can't make this shit up.
Turning neighbors against neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tragic.
It is. All because he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
They're eating the pets. They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the cats. Have you seen like the TikTok trend? And they're showing all the cats and the dogs that are
just like. And then I saw one where like a toddler was like putting salt on the dog. And like, just like.
And then a little side eye like. Sometimes the internet is like really great.
Oh my god, I waste so much time on it.
Do you?
Especially on TikTok.
I try not to. Every once in a while, I'll let myself like splurge.
Yeah.
And like just go
and
like
binge.
Yeah, and just do something brainless for a while.
I do it when at night when he's watching something I don't care about, like sports, and he'll be like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Nope." And he gets mad. So sometimes I'm like, "Okay, I got to put my phone down." So.
Yeah.
But if I'm not interested in what's on TV, it's so easy to just pick it up. Like, yeah.
I think
I'm not doing anything.
I think just like in general, it's very easy to distract yourself like with the phone. Like instead of having like just sitting there for like 2 minutes while waiting for like a coffee order, you immediately like have to like entertain oneself like with the phone for 2 minutes. Like you can't just like be present in the moment.
I know. It's bad.
It is bad. I tried to. That's one of the things I'm trying to like be more mindful of.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll try to be mindful and demure. Have you seen that?
Very demure, very mindful, very cutesy,
very considerate.
Yes.
And then 2 minutes later, I'm like, back on it. I'm like, okay, that didn't last.
Yeah, clearly my brain needs like some rewiring.
I know. I think we all do.
Yeah.
It's just hard because it's such a
instant gratification.
Totally.
Thing.
Entertainment.
Like, one of the things that I've changed is like first thing in the morning, I do not check my phone. So like when I would wake up, I would check and see like who has messaged me, calls, emails, work. Now like I'll do my whole morning routine, and then I'll come downstairs, make my coffee, and only after I have my coffee, then it's like, all right, now I'll kind of look at it.
So that you're not immediately like
blasting my brain.
What do they call this? Like the blue light or whatever?
The blue light,
whatever the shit is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, small things you can do to improve, but...
Right. Progress.
Right. I did go to brunch with some friends, and I didn't look at my phone. Like, when we were just... I wasn't on my phone.
Right.
But then the brunch kind of got extended, and I didn't look at my phone, and my friend was like, "Did you see that text? I haven't looked at my phone." She's like, "You haven't?" Like, so... Yeah. When I'm with people, I try not to be rude and be on my phone, but...
Yeah, because I hate that, like, when you've made the effort into, like, getting together with friends, and then, like, even just having, like, the phone out on the table.
Right, and then you're glancing at it is rude.
You already, like, don't have their full attention.
Exactly.
So
and they're, like, checking it occasionally,
I'll try to keep my phone, like, in my purse, away.
Right, yeah. Yeah. But when it's just bread, I'm just like,
But I feel like it's even more important with your partner because...
Okay, you're way too good. You're way too considerate, demure, way too.
I feel like if there's one person that you are more mindful with is with your partner.
But when you're not talking, when it's quiet, I mean,
that's when you're like, so the Egyptians back in.
Oh, Brett does like history. There was a train that went, historic train that went, the Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Did you hear about that?
I heard
He went to DeSoto, Missouri.
Did he?
And watched it.
Good for him.
He took video. He was so proud.
I can see Brett doing that.
He likes history, so.
Well, like last night, Vic and I, we've had a lot of the conversations that we could possibly have. And then all of a sudden, like last night we're at dinner and we're eating this, Mexican dish called pozole. And he was telling me, there's a legend that the Aztecs would, instead of making this with chicken or pork, they would eat it like with humans.
With their pets? No.
With the cats, with their dogs.
They're eating the pets. They're eating the pets.
He said that, it's legend that the Aztecs would eat it with human meat. So then Vic and I went down this whole rabbit hole of cannibalism and, any...
Jeffrey Dahmer.
It was, psychological effects of eating people, cannibalism. So, because he was Vic made the point, it was well, it's just, meat. So, if it's cooked, it shouldn't cause any effects. And so we were actually there Googling the effects of cannibalism, and I think I'm going to do a whole episode on
the effects of it.
Yes.
Like in what way?
Like what would happen to another person if, long term, if they were eating other people? You understand, short term, survival,
right?
Or
but if you kept it going,
and
you're like, oh, what's in the crock pot today? Oh,
Susie,
just a neighbor, Susie Q.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disturbing.
But
what a weird conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. This is during dinner at 9:00 at night last night over some soup.
Oh my god!
But we were present and we were in the moment.
And you weren't on your phones. Well, you were. You were researching.
We were Googling
the topic at hand. So.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Disgusting. Yeah. Are we filming right now?
We're going. Yeah.
We are?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Am I supposed to be situated somewhere?
No, I got the camera ready.
Oh my god. They're eating the pets. Okay.
But yeah, so today's episode we have, if you haven't been able to tell, we don't have Gina. So we have my good friend Stephanie, special guest star. Stephanie and I have been friends for 9 years now, probably?
Has it been?
I think 9 years.
Long time.
Because I think... Well, we met at the boxing gym. So me, Steph, and James. James was on a couple other episodes. Us three are boxing pals. Mm-hmm. And I met you first. And I think I met you 1 or 2 years before I started at where I'm at now. And I've been at my current company 8 years.
Oh my gosh, so 10 years.
So I've known you, 9 or 10 years. We've known each other.
Yeah.
And I still remember the day that we first met. I was working the front desk, and it was on a weekend, and I normally didn't work weekends, and for me it was early as shit. It was probably 9 a.m. So not really that early, but for me it was straight out of college.
That's lunch for me, around lunchtime.
And I remember I was just tired. I was upset that I had to be in there. I was all bloated. My face was all puffy, and I was just not in the mood. And then Steph walks in up to the front desk, and she's all cheery, and she's like, "Hey, how are you? I'm the trainer. My name's Steph. What's your name?" And then you had your phone and you were taking a picture of me.
Really?
And there's a picture of me at the desk
without giving you a heads up, just
somehow
paparazzi?
A picture got taken. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is that when you had short
really short hair?
Yeah, I remember that.
And the braces.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we started working together.
That was fun.
We started teaching together, and we were known as the dynamic duo.
That's right.
Yeah, we called ourselves
We
coined that for ourselves.
Right, exactly. I don't know how others felt, but we definitely had a high energy class, and I think we played well off of each other.
Yeah, we matched each other's
high
energies.
Impact,
Yeah, we were both cardio bunnies, loved the high energy,
yes,
all of that.
And the music and everything.
Yeah.
So we had kind of a following, I'm not going to lie.
We did have a following, actually. You had your class and your following, I had my class and my following, and then when we did the double classes, us teaching together, then we had another special following for that.
And we would do the holiday ones. Those were so fun.
The Christmas Eve one, Fitmas Eve.
Fitmas, 12 rounds of Fitmas.
12 rounds of, Christmas.
Hell.
Yeah, essentially. You thought this was going to be a great time.
Thinking involved a lot of burpees, but
burpees between each
round.
Yeah. And then it kept adding on.
Right.
On the first round of boxing my trainer gave to me. And it started with a burpee. And then we went all the way up to 12.
It was hard to get all those rounds in. It was a minute active rest.
Yeah. So in between
but we had to get all those exercises in. And then toward the end, I was like, you know what? Just take a break.
Just do all burpees.
Burpees galore.
But then we would
that was fun.
Dress up in any theme class. We were dressing up in the costumes.
Yeah.
And
well, you kind of got...
I got carried away with the outfits.
I went it's on order. I'm like, oh my god, what's Maria going to show up? What is she going to show up in?
I did go extra with all my outfits.
It was great though.
Yeah.
It was fun.
For Christmas, I would wear that green. Was it like
morph
a morph suit? Yeah.
I don't know how you wore that. That looked so hot.
It was.
It didn't breathe.
It didn't. And then I would wear like
Christmas
Christmas lingerie over
it. on top of it. Yeah.
Why lingerie? I don't know. I thought it was funny, and then it just became a thing every year. And then I think
great.
3 of the 4 morph suits that I got would rip.
Yeah. Didn't you have I remember a hole starting in the back. I'm like, oh, that's not going to be good.
It's going to be dangerous. Yeah.
That's going to expose a few things.
It did. Christmas came early. You're welcome, everyone. Christmas presents for you.
Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. Everybody, if you stick around, it'll keep on giving.
That's why we had such a following. They came back
every year. To see what Maria was going to wear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I miss those days.
I know. They were fun days.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then we just stayed friends ever since. And
did you teach any classes when they opened the new... I can't remember. Did you ever teach at Box STL when they opened that?
I think just a few here and there.
Yeah, I don't feel like you were on the schedule permanently.
Yeah.
But I went over there for a couple of years and did the 5:30 a.m. just once a week. And then I was like, why am I doing this?
To yourself. Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So
I
quit.
You get burnt out. There's only so much creativity in classes you can teach.
I got so tired of... And I love the members. And I loved that workout. I did that workout for 7, 8, maybe longer. Probably longer. 10, 12, whatever years. And it's a good workout. And I love the members. But it was 4 people would show up.
Yeah, and that's really hard. Is you put in all this time and effort into making a class.
Yes.
And sometimes we get one person.
Right. And you're just like, all right. I'd rather be...
sleeping
anywhere but here. Really anywhere but here.
It would be disheartening. I mean, you do make it special for those few people that do make the effort into going, but as a trainer it is disheartening. It is. But we made really good friends. We just had brunch and friends,
Emily and who else are we friends with?
From the boxing gym. With James,
I've kind of lost track of him, but Mary,
and I went to Cammie's wedding.
Cammie's wedding!
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was great in that regard.
Yeah.
So, but moving on from that.
And then today is we're kind of doing, I don't know what we'll call it, life lessons or stuff that we've learned, I think, between our friendship and experiences of 10 years of knowing each other. Mm-hmm. Because you have life experience. I have some. Yeah, I'm, just for the listeners, how much older am I than you? 13. I'm 45. 32.
So there's a little age difference, but.
So you have just a little bit more experience.
But
we get along really great.
I mean, I was born in 78. You were born in
92.
Which, okay, if you think of it that way, that makes me feel ancient.
It feels like a bigger gap.
But, later on in the scheme of things, 45 and 32, whatever. So.
No, we used to hang out a lot. And then didn't some of your friends think that, we were a couple?
Yes. One of my friends was like, you're in a lot of pictures with Maria and you guys are always really close. I'm like, well, when you're taking a picture, you're not
you are close. Yeah,
you're getting together. And they're like, are you guys more than friends? I'm like, no.
are you really best friends with someone if someone doesn't question if you're in a relationship?
Right, exactly. I was like, no. But then I thought about it. I went through our pictures. I was like, I could see why they think that.
Yeah, because we take a lot of pictures together, and we saw each other like at least
a lot,
once a week.
Yeah,
minimum
sometimes
once
more. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
So, and we would go out occasionally. Remember the infamous French Quarter? Is that on the list?
That's on my list.
All right, that's on the list.
Like,
I'm getting ahead of schedule.
As like one of the lessons that we have learned. Let's just
don't fall on your face when drunk.
Well, karma is a bitch, so don't make fun of people, especially like while you're drunk.
Yeah. And that guy was so nice, but he couldn't squat. He didn't know how to do a proper squat to save his life.
Yeah. So what it was is Steph and I, we had gone out for drinks. I think we had done like karaoke that night too. So we're a fan of dive bars and drinking and having a good time. And Steph was telling me about this one member who we both know. And, just cannot...
Tony. His name was Tony.
Just call him out.
I don't remember his last name, so no harm.
There's a lot of Tonys.
Tony, Anthony, whatever.
Tony could not squat for shit. Could not squat to save his life. So Stephanie, after lots of drinks, decided to demonstrate how Tony would squat. But Stephanie had her purse on her arm. So when she went to go put her hands behind her head, and then she went for the squat, instead of going down...
Like with proper form, which Tony did not have.
Right. Stephanie goes face forward. Literally does not stop. Yeah, face first into the concrete. And, me being the great friend that I am, didn't help her up, was just laughing at her, and some other people from other tables had to come and help Stephanie up, and I'm like dying.
Oh no.
And then it's when you lifted your face that there was like blood everywhere. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So then I sobered up real quick. I'm like, oh no, are we missing any teeth? Because it was a lot of blood around the mouth. And as soon as you saw my face, because you were laughing too when you got up, as soon as you saw my face, you're like, is something wrong?
I know, and I started freaking. I think all the blood left my face. Like, when like people are looking at you like, oh shit, you're like, something's wrong.
Yeah. And so then we didn't want to like worry you, so all of us were like, no, everything's fine. You're just bleeding a little bit. So then they come with like piles of napkins and just like dabbing your face. And then you wanted to go to the bathroom to check it out, and we're like, no,
don't do it. Don't do it. We don't recommend it.
Like, I'm just gonna take you home. And so drove you home, and you're just, laughing and giggling at the whole thing. And we're listening to Beyonce, and then get into your house. You don't have any ice, so I give you a frozen bag of edamame. This is like 1 a.m. and like Brett's already in bed.
Oh my god.
And I don't know if we woke him up or not.
Who cares? My lip was more of my worry, and I had to. It scabbed over. You're right. I shouldn't have been making fun of this poor man. It scabbed over, and then I had a little Hitler, like I looked like a little Hitler mustache. Yes. Because it was brown, and then I had to go to work, and I would, whenever anybody would come talk to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, how are you today? And I'd put my hand on to cover it, because how do I explain that?
Right, because it did look like a Hitler stash with the scab and with
there's
like
still
recovered.
A little scar if you look like a little bit. So yeah. That's a life lesson there, Maria.
Yeah. Like, karma is a bitch. Karma served immediately.
I also think it's a life lesson into looking into proper form.
Yes.
Like how to do a squat, because he would not be upright. He would bend
go forward.
I'm like, that's not a squat. You're bowing. Like, you're bowing to people.
He was doing more of like a good morning.
Right. He was doing a good morning.
But with bent knees.
Right. And I'm thinking, no.
No, like that's not a thing,
so,
sir.
I blame him.
So, life lesson, learn how to squat, people. It will save you in the long run.
It will save you.
Especially when drunk.
Yeah. But that was very memorable.
It was, yeah.
It was fun until that happened.
And even then, like, it was still pretty fun afterwards.
Yeah. Well, it gave us a good story.
It did.
To tell, so.
Whenever I think of our going out stories, that's the first one.
And thankfully I didn't chip any teeth.
Yeah, you kept all your teeth, and...
Oh my god.
It was just, like...
Kept all my teeth.
Right above the lip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then... you and I have done like a lot of like fitness challenges together too. Mm-hmm. Like, we work hard, play hard, play harder. But aside from the boxing, you and I, we did that 100-day challenge where it's like no days off. You just work out every day for 100 days straight. That taught me like a lot of
discipline and.
Well, I mean, I always had the discipline, but back when we were doing it, in my mind, like if I didn't kill myself during that workout, then it wasn't a workout. Mm-hmm. So I never had like that balance, and so to do that for 100 days was like impossible. Yeah. So then I learned, yoga could be a workout.
Right,
or like walking.
And you don't have to do HIIT. Like, you don't have to kill yourself to get a good workout in.
Yeah, you can do active rest days or at least just some sort of like movement.
Right, like take a walk or something.
Yeah.
So, I've learned that as I age, for sure.
Yeah, because you've had some knee stuff.
I've had some knee stuff. They don't work anymore. That's the bottom line. Like,
the thing is, they stopped working.
Yeah. Well, I think it was years, and my mom, who's 78, always told me, better watch all that running and HIIT and this and that you're doing. She goes, your joints. I'm like, whatever. Sure enough.
Surprise, surprise, mom was right.
Right. And so I do have a meniscus tear, and I have to modify, which I'm doing what I can, because I don't want to have knee replacement at 45.
Right.
And they only last 20 years or something, so I'm not trying
to do a second replacement.
Right. So I just modify, and I still get a great workout. Like, I'm thinking, why didn't I just like scale it back? But you're not thinking that way when you're able-bodied and younger and obsessed.
Right. Obsessed is a good word, because
there's a girl at Orange Theory that I told her, I went up to her, I go, you remind me so much of me 15 years ago. Because during the floor section of the workout, you're supposed to pay attention to the demonstration of the trainer. Yeah. But while they're doing it, she's doing jumping jacks and butt kicks and
just
high
have to be
knees.
moving.
And no one else is doing that.
Just her, yeah.
Just her. She doesn't care. She's like, so
I'm staying in the zone.
Yeah. So, but that used to be me.
Well, and that was me, like, when we would take other trainers' classes, and they had kind of like a slow warm-up.
Oh, yeah. You would always add on. You would be like, you wouldn't modify, you would amplify.
Yeah. Take it up a couple levels.
I'd be like looking over at you like, you're like, this is too easy.
Yeah.
So but are you still like that, or have you?
I've learned to scale it back, and I've learned to have like more balance. So, I mean, I still have the workouts where I do enjoy, like, killing myself.
Yeah, it feels good.
It does.
The after effect.
It's very satisfying.
It is.
It's gratifying.
That's what I miss about running. I miss how that feels.
And, like, pushing yourself to new limits.
Yes.
But then I also now, like, take days off. And I used to never take days off.
Yeah, it's so good for you.
It is good. I don't always love them.
I know. You feel kind of lazy.
Like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we're wired the same way.
Yeah.
In that regard. But then you can come back stronger.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah,
the next day, then I have like a great workout.
Yeah.
So I know they're beneficial. It's just sometimes
sometimes
it's hard.
Yeah. Well, do you wear a fitness tracker?
Yeah.
So on rest days, I'm like, oh my God.
I have negative 5 steps.
Like, I'm like, are you still breathing? Like, you haven't moved. So I don't like that because I'm obsessed with my data.
Stats.
Yeah, my stats.
Yeah. Did I sleep well? What's my resting heart rate?
I don't care about I care about sleep, but I don't wear this to bed. Because I'm like, do you do anything different if you look at your sleep score? Does that even...
Well, then I see, like, okay, if I got really shitty sleep, then maybe I won't do a really hard workout today because I'm already tired.
Oh, or it kind of guides what you are going to do that next day.
Right. Or if I see that, like, if I felt like I got really shitty sleep, but then I saw that it was, like, decent, then I'm like, all right, I actually feel better. Even if, like, just because it says I did well doesn't necessarily mean that I did. But then
is it like a mental thing?
It is.
Okay, yeah.
And then also I just want to make sure that I'm getting the X number hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So, like, if I didn't one night, then I do try, like, the next night.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some insomnia.
You do?
Yeah. Bad. It's bad. But I started buying these Ollie brand gummies, and those help.
Is that like the melatonin?
I think there's melatonin in it. Although the next day I kind of feel off, and I'm like, okay, what's worse?
Yeah.
Having no sleep or feeling funky. Like, I don't know.
And that's one of the things that I've done in the past like few months is like wean myself off of melatonin because I used to take some every night.
Yeah.
And then I, go down rabbit holes and I saw where this one thing was like, your brain makes melatonin itself. And then when you start taking it, then it stops making it because your body knows that it's going to get it
in another way.
Right. And then eventually like you'll need more and more and more. And then even like at 1 milligram, like that's like way higher than what your body actually needs and what your brain produces. Mm-hmm. I forget, it's like 0.0 something that you actually need. And so after I saw that, then I was like, all right, I don't want to like rely on it forever.
Yeah. Like as a crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got to that point and like now I've established like a circadian rhythm where like at like 10:30 I get sleepy and then I wake up without an alarm clock at like 7, like without fail.
Wow, that's a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Why don't you rub it in?
Well, we don't always go to bed at 10 and 10:30. I get sleepy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 11, midnight, whatever. But
yeah. Circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm. Who is she?
That's fancy.
It is fancy. That's bougie.
Yeah, bougie.
Bougie.
It kind of reminds me of cicadas. Circadian.
Cicada rhythm. Those came and then just like fell off.
Oh.
Like
Thank God.
Everyone was talking about them and then everyone stopped.
You didn't have them in the city, did you?
Not really. I saw maybe like 4 total around
We
us.
had them crawling out of the woodwork in Baldwin. Ugh. Gross.
Yeah. Well, even Shaw Park had a shit ton.
Really? Because of all the trees, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Yuck.
Yeah. The other thing that I learned from like boxing classes was to essentially like raw dog it, meaning like go off script.
Okay. I'm like, I must have missed that.
What are you learning?
Tutorial.
No,
like you mean you'd write your workout, you'd have it on we had a pole, you'd have it on the magnet, and then you would just free ball it?
Right.
Okay.
Because like before, like when I used to start teaching, then I would write down every single thing from the warm up to every combo to the active
I always wanted to, because I didn't want to be caught flat footed or like brain fart or whatever.
Yeah.
So I always wanted that. And I tried to mix it up. I didn't want to be boring. I didn't want to be repetitive.
Right.
Because some of the trainers
would reuse the same one.
Oh yeah, and you'd go and you'd be like, I know what's coming. I wanted to keep people on their toes.
Right. And you should like mix it up.
Yeah.
But I would be like, I would like never deviate from it and go start to finish, write literally everything down. You would do more of like a high level one.
Yeah.
Because, success favors the prepared. So I wanted to just always be prepared. And then eventually though, like I just said, fuck it, and started
raw dogging
it, raw dogging the classes. And they were actually some of like the best classes.
Best ones.
Yeah.
I feel like the creativity comes out sometimes when you don't have it scripted.
Right. And
so you're kind of going on the fly.
It forces you to like think on your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I had my gym bag and I would shove all my workouts in there. That stack
is massive.
After years, I'm like, I should sell these. Would anybody want these? Probably not.
Donate them to the new trainers.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to be prepared. I feel like, especially, it felt like you're under the spotlight. It's sort of like giving a presentation.
Yeah, you were literally in the middle of the class with a microphone.
And everyone's
staring at you.
I mean, you're running the class.
Yeah.
And so when I first did my first class, I was nervous as hell.
Yes, I was.
And I still got little butterflies occasionally. Every
once in a while.
Right. But of course, after so many, like
hundreds of classes.
Right, you finally feel comfortable doing it. But I would always have a little sheet of paper up, whether I went off of it or not,
Yeah, and sometimes.
But you wrote out the combos, didn't you? All the boxing combos? Or no?
Not always. Like when I would come like fully scripted, I would write out the combos too.
Yeah.
And then when I would raw dog it, there'd be nothing. But then there'd be a couple times where I would think of a combo like during the day. So
and
then I would write that down.
One.
Yeah. So then I would write that one down. So I would come with like a little sticky note of like ones that I would want to try.
Yeah.
So then it got to that point.
Because I never wrote the combos out. And I feel like I got stuck in a rut with them.
Yeah.
But then I would take other classes and I'd be like, oh, that's a good combo.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to remember that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would steal stuff from people.
Oh, definitely. I feel like our classes were all like a merging of like everyone else's class or our favorite parts of
everyone's class.
Classes.
Yeah. So we had the best of everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We were just the best.
We were.
Let's face it.
We know it.
Yeah. Our 5 members that showed up knew it.
Our 5 people following.
Oh, those were the days.
I know. We did have a solid following, except Saturdays when I was teaching like the 75-minute.
Oh my God,
That
those
was
classes
brutal.
went on. So I used to do the 60 and the 75 on Saturday.
That'd be brutal.
Right, so I was there from like 8:30 till like noon every Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Who thought that 75-minute class would be like a great idea?
And again, it would be like 3 people because who wants to take that?
Who wants to take, an hour and 15 minutes on a Saturday?
Wasn't it like, how many rounds was it?
It
was
was
it
12
12
rounds.
versus 8?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
It's 12 3-minute rounds.
And it was kickboxing.
Kickboxing.
Which
So
I sucked at teaching kickboxing.
I loved it.
Yeah, you were good at it. Like, your form was good. My form was all kinds of, like...
Do as I say, not as I do.
I'd be like, roundhouse, yeah. That was a tough class to get through. And maintain, like, the motivation and energy.
Yes. Yeah. It was tough to, teach it all the way through, let alone take it.
Oh, God.
And then when you have 3 people, Stephanie being one, and then the other 2 people would like sit down during the class. They would sit at the bags.
Oh, I remember those women.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Then why are you coming to
Go to the coffee shop. Like, you want to sit and chat? What are you doing? You're supposed to be in class. Go to the coffee shop.
They would like take a couple rounds, sit out for a couple rounds, take a couple rounds, which I get, work at your own pace.
If you need a break, but like, don't sit.
Yeah, and like when you're 2/3 of the class, it sticks out.
Right, you really hide in the shadows.
I'm like teaching the class like to myself. I'm taking my own class. Like,
it's like you're
all right, go me.
You're working out. Like
it was.
Yeah, I remember those people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But you improvise, adapt, overcome. Oh, Vic's doing laundry. If you heard that really loud sound.
Okay.
I
was like,
the dryer.
I'm like, do I have to leave?
Button press.
I know. Have you ever? You're too young for this, but the Showtime at the Apollo. Does that ring a bell?
No, I mean I've heard of the Apollo, but
whenever I would babysit back in the day, I'm talking early '90s, before you were born,
or right when I was born.
right when you were coming out, little baby. It would be Saturday Night Live, and then it would be Showtime at the Apollo. So we're talking. This was like coming on at 11:30 or midnight,
late night show.
Yeah, and it was like a comedy. Well, they had all kinds of entertainment on the stage. And if you sucked, this clown would come out with a buzzer. It was either a buzzer or like a horn or something.
Yeah,
like just humiliate your ass.
That is
off the stage. So
yeah, so didn't like what you said. Buzzer.
Right, yeah. So
get off.
You suck. Kind of like when they would shame you on like American Idol, essentially, or
like there's the one where they turn the chairs around or they don't.
Oh, The Voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or they don't. And you always feel bad for them. Like, oh, nobody turned their chair. Damn it.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
It is, but I mean, those people. I mean, they signed up for that.
They definitely did.
So
you're not guaranteed to be the next Kelly Clarkson, like
right. And Kelly Clarkson is the only one that I think like people know name wise from any of those type of shows.
Kelly for sure, and then there's Carrie Underwood. She was on Idol.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So she kind of made.
I feel like there's a few others that we're not thinking of. What's his name?
Was it Chris? Daughtry.
Daughtry.
Yeah. Gina was telling me about his concert.
He's hot. But he's bald.
You go for the bald.
Yeah. And his voice just makes him really sexy, I think.
It's a man's voice.
It's really, manly.
Manly.
But I think there's a few others. Scotty McCreery, he's country.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, you didn't get into it.
No, and like unless like they made it like big, then
Right.
I wouldn't. Keep up with them.
Yeah, but Kelly for sure. She was the original.
Was she the first American?
First one.
Okay, so that makes
with
sense.
That Justin Guarini or something like that.
Couldn't tell you the other dude. No.
Nope. He was second, but he really fell from grace because
Did he?
He flopped.
Oh,
even though he was good, he was second.
But did it make?
If you're not first, you're last, Maria.
Yeah, 100% you are. That is my life motto. If you ain't first, you last. I don't put any second or third place trophies up there.
It's got to be first, right? Oh my God. Okay, so speaking of, back to the fitness topic. Yeah. At Orange Theory, we have these challenges. Mm-hmm. There's sometimes treadmill, sometimes floor, or sometimes rower. Well, the row block one was recently?
What's the following word?
I don't know.
Well, what are you going to say after recent or recently?
I was going to say and.
The rower recent.
Was recent.
The rower is recent.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Grammar lesson. And it's a 2,000 meter row, which is a long row. It's pretty challenging. So I looked at and in the app, you see your others, like times.
Yeah.
You kind of record that. And I saw my PR was 7 minutes and 12 seconds.
Okay.
No, maybe it was 13. Whatever. I'm not going to fight over a
7:12.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. And so I was like, there's no way in hell I'm getting that. Because my other ones, I did it like 5 times, were in the 7 minute, but they weren't near that. And I'm like, I'm not feeling that. So anyway, long story short, I scored third in my age group for that location. Okay. So I was bronze.
Okay.
I did not like being bronze.
Did you pick up the medal?
No, we didn't get medals. Oh. But they, which I didn't like, they put it up on social and they put the ages out there. I'm like, okay, great. Like, thanks for...
You signed the waiver.
Thanks for sharing.
We will out you and your age and how you did in the competition.
As we see fit.
Yeah.
But the gal who got the bronze, her name's Rika.
I thought you got bronze.
I'm sorry. She got silver.
Silver, okay.
She beat me by 11 seconds. Damn. And the next time I saw her, she was like, hey, did you see I beat you?
That bitch.
And this is a woman that I kind of took her under my wing when she signed up. She was newer and I'd been going for a couple of years. And I would encourage her. And I'd say, Rika, I know you can lift heavier than that. Like, I would encourage her because she was new.
Yeah.
And here she is, rubbing it in my face.
What is that saying? Once you were the master, now I am.
Yeah, essentially. And then the gal that got gold, there was no way I was touching her score. She got I think she ended up with 7:14, which is slower than my PR.
Yeah. So you could get it.
Yeah. So now I'm on a mission. They don't know it, but mentally I'm on that mission, so...
No, but that does remind me of I guess another life lesson or whatever we're calling them is to have friends that challenge you or motivate you or inspire you. Because I've always been taught if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Mm-hmm. And you can only level up to the level of your friend group. Mm-hmm. So you can also level down.
Yes.
If everyone is below you. So. Yeah. I think that's why we have gotten along so well is because I always, you would always motivate me to, try harder or, you're always just, so shameless. Just...
Is that a good thing?
It's a great thing. Don't give a flying fuck. And, you just talk to our server. She, just asks a question. And you're like, I'm actually going to go record a podcast episode. Yeah. And then Stephanie pulls up the episode. This is what it is.
Give us a follow.
She's never going to, look it up. She immediately forgot it. Or you just go and you just do karaoke, or you go and talk to people, or when you just approached my dad at the golf thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Stephanie has never...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Stephanie had never actually met my dad. She'd only seen pictures of him.
Yeah.
And then you just like, oh, that's Maria's dad. And then just go and like approaches him and like says, hey.
Yeah.
And stuff like. So I always strive to like do more stuff like you.
Oh,
in
that's
that
so
sense
kind.
of like, you know, just like, who gives a shit? Just approach the person or just start a conversation and... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm like that. Maybe it's because I was the third child. You know, there's something to birth order, or I don't know. But you know, there are some. Can I admit something on this podcast?
Do it.
I'm very much an extrovert, and I am outgoing, and I do all that. But there is a side of me that I'm a little insecure, like we all can be.
Yeah.
Or you know, you just feel like that imposter syndrome can kind of creep in.
I guess.
So I try to rise above that if I can.
Like, be genuine?
No, I guess I'm thinking more along the lines of the professional setting, like in the workplace.
Okay.
Like, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I was very average in school. Yeah. I mean, I have a college degree, but I was never an honor student.
Okay.
So I'm more like street smart and like I can relate to people.
Sense.
Right, like common sense. I can relate to people and I can talk to anybody.
Right.
But I do struggle with like people that are really smart. Does that make sense?
It does, but like you have
like
your
the
strengths.
Insecurity of it.
You have your strengths.
Yeah.
And then they have theirs. Because I'm sure like they are like super book smart, but not necessarily like street smart or as like personable.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to be the complete package.
Right.
So you own what you got and make that work. So you can make friends with those smart people and then get answers from them. Or
cheat off them like I used to in high school.
Collaborate is now the word.
Collaborate.
Synergize, collaborate.
Yeah.
Teamwork. You know.
Circle back. Yeah.
God.
Kill
me.
Corporate lingo. But yeah.
Worst.
Well, thank you. That was a really big compliment that you paid me.
Yeah. And then like you would do those like workouts where you would like just like go running and then you would like stop and do squats and lunges
along Reese Road.
Yeah, just out in the public. Just gonna like I'm just gonna go run and then just do these random exercises just in front of everyone.
The world. Yeah.
And then you would record yourself and you would send it to like us.
Didn't you do that too?
Yes, but
or was it the park workout? I don't remember.
Like I would do some, but like I would always typically just be very like conscientious of like, am I around people?
Right. And is this weird?
I was always so conscious about recording myself in front of like people. Weird. Right. And I still am. Like I don't like to like go to the gym or like if we try and do like podcast videos like out and about, like I know I shouldn't care.
Right.
And I really don't want to care. But still part of me does. Yes.
For sure.
And it's like, how do I get past that? I think you just have to keep doing it until you don't care. Yeah. Like those people that go to the gym and they have their own like little tripod things and they're filming. And they're filming at the gym. And I think I could never.
People are going to talk about me.
People are looking at me.
Yeah.
People are judging. But it's like, also, who the fuck
cares? Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You don't know what they're thinking. They may be thinking like, oh wow, that's good on them for being shameless and having no embarrassment.
Right.
Like, I want to get to their level.
Yeah.
Or some people like, you know, could think that like, oh, you can't even do a workout without filming yourself.
Yeah, and talk about,
Are you just doing it for the validation? You know,
if you go to the gym and work out but don't film it, did you even go?
Did you actually work out?
Did the calories get burned? Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that people can think about, so you never know what they're going to actually think, so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. And I think the more you do it with I don't know. When I turned 40, I was talking to people because I was sort of struggling with it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so liberating turning 40, like you're not going to give a fuck about anything." That's not true.
No, I think that's like, I'm like 70,
and
80.
40 came in, right. 40 came and went, and I'm like, I care. I still care. Like,
but I think someone had said this, and I want to give them credit, but I don't know if I saw it on TikTok or Reels or whatever. But essentially, what it is that you like your fuck bucket becomes smaller,
right?
Or your basket, whatever it is. And so as you get older, that bucket gets smaller. So then you have to select what you're going to give a fuck about.
Right.
And then the basket is full, so you can't give a fuck about that thing either.
Yeah.
Because, sorry, my basket's full.
Right. What was that meme that we loved? It was like, look at thy yard of fucks.
And see that it is barren. Lay thine eyes on my field of fucks and see that it is barren.
It was a very, like, pristine way to be like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a flying fuck.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, when I hit 30, I noticed that my bucket, like, got smaller.
Yeah. Of giving a fuck?
Yeah. And then, like, I think just with age or I don't know what, but, like, I used to get very nervous and worried about, like, presentations at work.
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Impressing, like, the leadership team.
Exactly.
Saying the right thing around them.
Right. Are they going to say that I bombed that? Like, are they going to think that I can't, stack up? And
that is gone.
Is it? I still have that. I still have that. Maybe it's the environment in which I work, but I still have that.
No, I think I have, like, a certain level of, like, security, but then it's also like this is what I know, and, I don't know what I don't know.
Right. So you're owning that.
And then I've been around the block a few times with it, and it's like, it just is what it is.
Yeah. And if you're prepared, going back to the
success
scripting the workout, then it should be a shoo-in.
Yeah.
So, but I still struggle with that.
I don't know. And I think maybe also it depends on the time of the month for me.
Oh, that's
because there's like a certain, like, a week leading up to it, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just, like, my attitude. And so luckily I had all my presentations during that week, and it was just like, I was just matter of fact, like, this is what it is. And like
you forward. But that's like confidence.
It's confidence.
Right. You're like, thank you, Mother Nature. Like, for giving me this.
Yeah. The stars actually aligned.
Yeah. What do I have? I have a presentation coming up that I'm going to co-present with. I have a colleague who's 20 years younger than me, so Gen Z and Gen X.
That would be kind of a fun collab.
It's been fun working with her on things.
Yeah.
Because she brings this very creative, very fresh, very like trendy, demure, very considerate, very creative, cutesy, all the things. To things, and then I have more of
you have the experience.
The experience to back it, or kind of no, we can't do that. But it works. So it's fun to work with her on stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're doing that in front of like 75 people coming up, but it's virtual. I'm much better in a room.
In person.
Yes. I'm not as nervous. Isn't that weird?
Well, because I think you can read body language, you can see everyone's faces.
But like, you would think that'd be more intimidating, but for me, it's not.
I don't know.
Doing it virtual, like, makes me nervous. I don't know.
Well, because I think it's like you can't see everyone.
Yeah. So like
for me, like, I would rather go to
you can't relate.
Yeah. I would rather like go to a place and talk to a person than call on the phone. I hate calling on the phone.
I hate talking on the phone. Oh my God, this woman called me.
Oh, that's fake.
Okay.
Pause.
Vic! I haven't seen you forever. How are you? It's good to see you. We're podcasting. It's been so fun. Huh?
In the middle of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you look great.
Thank you.
How's your knee? Healing
It's
up?
great. Yeah.
Which one was
It's
it?
already healed. This one.
Oh my God, I can't even tell. There's no scars or anything.
Yeah, you can see some stuff.
Oh yeah, over there. Okay. But it's how's the range of motion?
Good. Good.
Wow.
Played a rugby game yesterday.
Amazing. Good.
So it's fully healed.
Great. Well, you look good.
Thank you.
Got your car?
Fun over here.
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting some good material?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. What was I gonna tell you? I forget.
You got a phone call.
I did?
No, like not right now.
Oh, yeah.
You were telling me. You got
Oh. Yeah.
Alright, leave you guys to it.
Okay.
the
Can I use
cats are
the
in
bathroom?
catching. Yeah,
Where is
we're
it?
paused. It's right around the fridge.
Bathroom break.
Hi, break.
Can I get a snack?
Okay. I'm gonna take the biscuits upstairs. The biscuits. Risk it for the biscuit.
Are you still recording?
Mm-hmm. I'll just keep it running.
Peace. Alright.
Oh, leave it on, because it makes it darker. There.
Okay.
All right. See you soon.
Jeez.
So how do you pick what you show on TikTok? Do you just go through it and pick
I did. Yeah. When
stuff
I
that?
when I edited,
Mm-hmm.
and I find like because I don't want it to be super long, so I
Right.
find like short clips
Where there's like a good.
where it's like funny or it's like should grab attention
Mhm.
or like something that would like get comments or
Uh-huh.
conversation,
Yeah.
and then put it out there.
Fun.
And I try and get like 4 or 5 small clips because I try and do like one a day for a
Leading
week
up.
until the next episode
Look
comes
at
out.
you. You're like a marketer.
Trying to.
I love it.
I've tried to learn how to do it.
It's great.
I mean, it's fun.
Would you ever get into marketing?
I started like specializing in marketing, I guess, when I was like in school, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So then I was like, oh, I'll specialize in marketing as opposed to like minoring.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a while. But then the class I took was like, they wanted us to like create a commercial for like cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
No.
sorry, but I don't care about a Chevy Cruze or whatever.
Right.
Like give
That
me
doesn't-
give me a Toyota 4Runner, then yeah, that'll be fun.
Right.
So then when I learned you couldn't just pick and choose what you wanted to do, because I wanted to make Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, all right, no, I think I'm out. Because I can't, I'm not always creative. Creativity isn't a daily
Are we
thing.
filming now?
I just kept it going.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm not always on for like marketing.
I think you could do it.
Maybe now. I mean, like maybe switch from finance. Pivot. I will
Pivot
from
not to use more
work.
corporate jargon.
Lingo, yeah.
But yeah.
Seed the flower.
Oh God. What?
That's-
People. Somebody said that at your work.
It's like her favorite phrase.
What does she say?
Seed the flower.
Okay, no. Like, what does that even mean?
Exactly.
I don't think she knows. I don't even think she knows.
Like, are you talking like start to finish, like the whole process, seed to flower?
I've noticed that some phrases a certain coworker will say, and then it catches on. Then you start hearing other people say it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm trying to remember the one example because I was like, "What in the hell is this? Why are we
Yeah.
all saying it?
Why are we
I can't remember
creating?
what it was." Yeah.
But yeah, and I'll start using some of that lingo in my everyday vernacular. And Vic's like, stop.
It's just stop.
I'm like, I'm
Just
sorry,
stop
I
it.
can't help it. I'm in meetings all the time, so it's just
It's part of
subconsciously
it.
it's
I know.
picking it
I
up.
know. Yeah. We'll take that offline. Let's
Yes.
take that offline.
Yeah. Or like even you, like one day you're like, oh, I'll ping you
Oh.
instead of message me.
Yeah, I'll ping you. I'll ping you. Yeah. People at my work are now saying the ask. What is the ask?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, is ask now a noun?
yeah. What is the ask? Like, what are you asking? Like, what's the deliverable?
It drives me crazy. Why are we saying what is the ask?
What did we say before?
What is the request? What is the
I guess yeah. What's the deliverable?
what, yeah. Because where I come from, ask is not a noun. Isn't it like a verb?
It is, but I guess if you put the ask, in
Then
front
it
of
makes it so now you
makes
could
it a
say the anything and then like the
Well, people are having all the liberties with the English language
Right,
these days.
yes.
So, like, why not
I guess.
pop off?
Yeah.
work lingo.
Just go with it. It drives me up the wall. What's the ask? Anyway.
So you were saying like someone had called you?
Oh, we were talking about how we don't want to talk on the phone. Which,
Oh yeah.
okay, as I continue to date myself, back in the 80s, I remember getting my first phone. It was a Swatch phone, and you could hear on both ends of it.
What is a Swatch phone?
Do you remember the Swatch watches?
No.
Okay. It was a brand.
Okay.
And the phones came out. And it was fun. Like, the brand itself was fun colors, like neons, like, just fun. It was watches, and then they had phones. And my Swatch phone had puzzle pieces on it. Anyway. Which is neither here nor there. But you could kind of get yourself in hot water with your friends because you could have one person on one end of it and the other, and like asking about, it was like
so like
up.
a 3-way phone call.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you think is so-and-so? It was very
sounds very
gossipy back in the day.
Mean Girls.
But anyway, I loved talking on the phone back then.
Yes.
And back then, you couldn't get on the internet if you were on your phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the landline.
Well, that was a thing in my day too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. But like...
Late 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my brothers, I have 2 older brothers, they would get so pissed off at me because I would pick up the phone and it would be like, and like lose their internet connection.
Yeah.
So my mom got me my own line, my own Swatch phone, and I was in heaven. Yeah. Fast forward to today, don't call me. Don't call me.
Unknown number? I'm not fucking answering.
If it's a text, if it can't be, I mean, it can always be a text, so let's just do that.
Right. I do have a friend, actually Gina, the co-host that's normally here. She will just randomly FaceTime me just of any time of the day. And it's usually in situations where I should not be answering, like on a FaceTime. I'm either on the toilet or I'm
like,
in my bedroom. It's never
not convenient.
It's never an opportune moment. So I'm like, maybe like give me like a message heads up, like, hey, I'm gonna call. Like,
yeah, give me a text, like, hey, do you have a minute?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna call you.
But it reminds me of like the teams, like if I'm green, like check if I'm green.
Well, and give me a courtesy heads up, because I have a colleague who just just calls. I'm like, this wasn't on my calendar. What do you need?
Right.
Like, it's like, you need something from me, clearly.
Right. So,
which is rude to do on like out of the blue.
Right.
But like, give me a heads up.
Right. But I think, just the calling, I think, is like rude, which back in the day, like it wasn't. That's just what you did.
That's just what you did.
Right. And like if someone like were to come by my office and just poke their head in, then it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
But it's something about the disruptiveness
of a phone call. Yeah. So this gal that I barely know, I know her through a friend, was texting me the other day about if I used this branding company here, which I did, but not that recent. It was like 2018. And I wrote her back, yeah, I know Atomic does. Then she calls me. And right when you hit send, like they know you're there.
Sitting there, you're
like
waiting.
They're there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I gotta answer this. So I answered it, and she just wanted to like ask further questions and shoot the shit. I'm like, I don't like this.
Don't want to do this.
Yeah. Like,
dare you?
And it was like a 20-minute call. So I thought that was just kind of...
That is rude.
Rude. Like, don't call my phone. Like, plain and simple. So.
Well, like nowadays, because the election is coming up, I'm getting like scam calls every single day. Like 4 or 5 different scam calls coming in. And I'm blocking them left and right.
Yeah.
And like, I'm getting to the point where like, I've been very tempted to answer and tell them where to fuck off to. But it's like, some of these may be recorded.
To your field of fucks.
Let me bury you in this barren field of fucks. Yeah. That's where you can go. And then you can go and fuck yourself hard.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck are you calling an unknown number?
Oh, I know. I get them. But they leave voicemails. Not the politics, but something about like a tax refund. For student loans. I'm like, okay.
Get fucked so hard.
Right. Like, I paid those loans off many years ago.
Decades ago.
I am not your target audience. Quit calling me.
I know. I don't get it. And like, I get it that it's like a job, but that should just be eliminated.
That was one of my first jobs. Telemarketing.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Out of college. It was terrible. Nobody wanted to hear from me. Like,
no.
I'm never
gonna
get right
from someone that calls me out of the blue.
And we had a computer system where we had to log each touch point. Mm-hmm. Like, and I would be like, got voicemail, left like it was just like
Yeah.
So finally, a couple times they went off on me. I mean, I was like a 23, 4-year-old woman, you know, just trying to get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And you have been calling me repeatedly for the past year. I'm not interested. Okay.
I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah.
That's what I understand. Some people are just trying to do their job, so I haven't answered.
Yeah.
And gone off.
Yeah.
But it does ruffle my feathers.
Of course. Well, this was more this was B2B.
And like cold calling.
Yeah, so I was calling like people that are in businesses. Not that it makes it less annoying. But
Right. Well, when I first started at Tidal, I was working the front desk, and that was my job.
Calling for members.
Was just
you
calling-
tried a class.
Yeah, I tried a class, and like, you know, why haven't you signed up? This is only like $1,000 a year. Why didn't you come prepared to drop all of that money? Didn't you love it? You know, it was just so fucking annoying. And so what I would end up doing was, instead of calling those people's numbers, because our manager, Chris, would be like there, and I would call my cell phone.
Oh my.
And I would leave myself fucking voicemails. So then I would go home and delete
Shut up.
100 voicemails.
This is true confessions. I'm loving it.
Because
But like he'd be standing there, but
He'd be standing there.
You were leaving voicemails to
to
yourself.
myself, yeah.
Would your phone be
I
ringing?
I hid it in my, you know, I would hide it in a locker or a bag or whatever.
I love this.
But he was be sitting there right there because he's checking to see if I'm like actually doing my job. And like every once in a while, if it was like a first time call, then I would call them.
But you're not going to keep.
I'm not going to keep
harassing.
Right.
Nobody
so I
wants that.
started calling my own cell phone, and
Well, frankly, were you getting any commission if you?
no, I was paid an hourly rate. It
And
didn't
you got
benefit me.
you got nothing if you actually followed up and they became members.
Correct.
That's stupid.
Right. It's a broken system. That's not actually sales.
There's no motivation there,
Absolutely not.
so I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. Sometimes I would have full blown conversations with myself and my voicemail.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah. Like, oh, I understand. Yeah. Times are tough. Finances are difficult. Yep.
Oh my god, I love that so much. And he was none the wiser.
None the wiser. Didn't know.
That is amazing. Did you have to log it? Was there like a system?
Yeah,
where you
it's a
had to
system
it?
log. Every touch point, just like what you were describing. So life
that
lesson:
so much.
become a great actress.
Well, it saves your ass sometimes because, like, why do that if you're not getting anything off of it?
Right.
Like, what's the incentive there? Remember when they said that if somebody took your class and signed up, you would get $5
A
or
little
something
bonus.
like that? And I never saw
never
that $5. I'm
never
like, where's
saw-
my $5? Like,
Never saw a bonus. Never saw an additional
nothing.
dollar from the
Never got
class.
a raise.
No.
And
eight
they-
years there. No.
They
raise.
would occasionally give us a deal on shirts, but we still had to buy them.
Yeah. But I guess you got a free membership out of it.
That's
so
true. You did get a free membership, and you could go in there and work out anytime.
I utilized the shit out of that.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed but frankly, you should get the free if
Yeah,
you're
you worked
working
it,
there. But I guess they didn't have to do that.
Right.
So
Yeah. And then we got the friendships from it.
that's true. Do you remember when Adi would just
Steal.
she would just you'd see her wearing the merchandise and then she would just walk out with it. I'm like, oh, okay.
She stole quite a bit.
Yeah, like I remember specifically
tie-dye
the tie-dye one that
And
I
then,
wanted.
like a bunch of wraps. Like
Wraps.
every class
Oh,
would go home with a new pair of wraps. Like she probably has a closet full of
title
stuff.
merch.
Yeah.
Just merch. Didn't she weren't her wraps? Didn't
So-
they stink?
Well, yeah, she never washed them.
Ugh. That is so funky.
We love Adi. She's still one of our besties.
I know, but yeah. Oh yeah. I've kind of lost touch with her, but I'm following her on the socials, and she's a doll.
Yeah, we touch base every once in a while.
Yeah,
We chat
she's
every-
good people.
Yeah. Back to the life lesson things. I think we both have this one also, and it's very specific. It can either be like listen to your gut, or because we were talking about this, Or find a partner who loves you enough to
Oh.
take you to the hospital when something is awry.
Not to take a dark turn, but yeah.
Which is also a very specific life lesson to learn, because you've learned it twice now, haven't you?
Well, appendicitis, yes. Last September. I think actually a year ago tomorrow. I think it was mid-September.
That you had yours.
Yeah, and I, we had this big dinner. Brett likes to grill, and we had these bratwursts, and I like a good bratwurst every once in a while. But they're filling, right?
Yeah.
And so I ate a lot, and we went to bed. I'm like, I slept, I fell asleep, and then around midnight I woke up, and I'm like, what is this pain? Is this gas? Like, did that bratwurst, like, is this bratwurst trying to
not
attack me or
sitting well,
something?
yeah.
Right. So then I moved down to the couch from upstairs, and the dog followed me because he
It's the dog, yeah.
loves me.
Yeah. Because I'm the favorite.
Pretty much. And then I tried to get comfortable, and I couldn't get comfortable.
Yeah.
And I tried farting. I'm like, if I fart, will I feel better?
Because sometimes that works, yeah.
Right. Then I was like, all right, this isn't doing anything. And so I started Googling.
See, I would be nervous that it would be a stomach bug, because in my experience, if my stomach hurts and I can't get comfortable via fart, Tums, whatever, then that's bad news bears. I'm
Yeah.
going to throw up.
Okay.
So then I start getting anxious and sweating.
And then your
nervous,
mind starts.
and I make it worse.
Right.
Yeah.
See, this was a pain that I had never felt before. And I was
So it was like on your side?
it was on my side, I think left side. Now I can't remember. But I Googled it.
Yeah.
Because I thought appendicitis. I go, what side is your appendix on? Google, tell me all the things. And it told me, and then it said, I really started to panic when it said, if you wait, it could explode.
Yeah.
Or, not explode.
But yeah, it would
Rupture.
break. Rupture.
Rupture.
It's essentially exploding.
Yeah. And so then they're like, then it gets really complicated, the surgery.
Yeah.
And so I was pacing, because I'm like, what is this? And then I was like, oh shit. And then I woke Brett up at 3:00 in the morning, because it had been 3 hours
Since it
and I
started.
said, you got to take me to the ER. I go, I think I'm having an appendicitis.
I can just picture Brett's face,
Right. And so he did, but that damn ER, you get there and they're like, what's your pain? Like, if you're not having a heart
you're
attack.
not dying.
If you're not dying or physically.
If you're not bleeding out the wazoo or your arm isn't hanging off,
They
make you
shoved
wait.
to the side.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. And then I had to work.
Yeah.
That next day, and I had coworkers coming in town. We had happy hour, we had all these plans.
Yeah.
And then at 6:30, we'd been there 3.5 hours. I pooped, and I felt so much better. I'm like, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I went to the nurse stand. I go, does anyone ever leave after being here and feeling better? She's like, yeah. She goes, but you're gonna get in 30 minutes, we swear.
We swear. Quote unquote
promise.
swear. Yeah. It's just any minute now.
Right.
For
And
3 hours.
But because I felt better, I went and I got a cup of crappy coffee at the fucking stand.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was
At
going to
6. Yeah.
I was going to go to work, but I needed coffee. Then they got me in, and Brett wouldn't I go, let's just go. He goes, no, we've been waiting here 3 hours.
At this point, you might as well get some answers.
We're not leaving. He was adamant about it. And I was like, all right,
Which is good.
Fine. I'm like, fine. Then they got me in there. Then they put me in a room, and they came in and they said, well, a couple of things. You're having an appendicitis.
How
And
did
you
they
need to have
know,
surgery."
Immediately? What kind of testing
Well, they
did
gave me a CT scan.
Okay.
So they pumped in all that contrast,
Okay.
which I've never had that before. That feels really weird.
I think
Going through your veins.
Where they're filling you up like a water balloon. Is that what it is?
No. It feels warm.
Oh,
This warmth washes over you.
Yeah, then I don't think I've had.
What did you have?
Because they wanted to, I guess, do a CT scan on my shoulder, but they needed to be able to see something, so they filled up my shoulder with this
to
liquid,
expand it?
and it was like a water balloon sitting on top of my shoulder.
Ooh, weird.
And yeah, you could hear it
In the
swishing
hospital?
around. Yeah.
Ooh. No, this wasn't that. But they saw it right away. I guess they can see if an organ is infected. Shit, I don't know.
Or about to rupture.
I'm not a doctor.
I don't know what they saw.
But meanwhile, so they told me that, and Brett was like, "Oh shit," and I was like, "Oh, I had never had surgery
Up to this point.
right?
So,
no major medical,
42 years and nothing. Yeah.
yeah, no major medical anything." And so I was kind of panicking, and they're like, "Oh, and also, you're gonna need to seek another doctor because we found these these masses in your uterus." And I was like,
FYI.
they're like, "Oh, and by the way,
Yeah, BT does.
you have these masses." And of course, when you hear that, you think cancer,
Yeah.
like mass.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
There needs to be another word to differentiate.
right, could you just call it like, I don't know,
You have balls on your
something.
cyst on your.
Yeah, that would be better than
You have
a mass.
You have chunks on your.
right, you like an abnormal or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I started crying. I was like, what? Because I just had
that's
no
scary.
idea.
Yeah.
So then the surgery itself was a breeze for the appendicitis. They ripped that sucker out right through my belly button.
It was like pulling out that brat.
A little, just a little sliver here. But they couldn't get me in because of that damn coffee. That's what it was.
Oh shit.
I was scheduled to do it at 9, and they're like, "Did you have anything to eat or drink?" And I had a crappy cup of coffee with a little cream.
Damn it.
And they don't want to put you under if you have something in your stomach.
Why is that?
Something like you could die. Who knew?
I don't know how, but you
Because
can die.
it like could come back up or something when you're out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then I had to wait all day for that surgery, and I was still in pain.
Yeah.
Like this thing was hurting.
Yikes.
So I just sat there and watched Roseanne reruns.
In the ER while just waiting.
Well, at that point I was in like
a room.
Right.
Yeah, but still, you're.
Yeah. Anyway, but because the life lesson, well, first of all, I guess Google.
It's
like,
fine to
told
Google
me-
sometimes,
told
yeah,
me.
and check it out.
But that could also be a rabbit hole. But in this instance, it wasn't. But I knew the pain was
It's specific.
not right.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
if
then-
you've never experienced it, then yeah.
And then Brett's willingness to
keep you there.
keep me there.
Can you imagine if you took a shit and you felt better and then just went home?
And they say people do that because the pain can subside.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being a much worse situation
Yeah.
because it could rupture. Anyway.
Yeah.
And we don't even need these organs. Why do we have them?
The appendix? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. I couldn't tell you.
Right,
I'm not a
right.
doctor.
I'm in finance.
Yeah. I crunch numbers.
I don't know, but it does nothing.
But then, so you lost 2 organs because you had the appendicitis, and then you went back later and you had your uterus,
Hysterectomy.
a whole ass uterus taken
A
out.
whole ass. But that also, it's actually more than one organ because they took
Everything.
the cervix.
You can physically take a cervix out?
It's out. I have none.
So is it just
A hole? Black?
that's what I'm imagining.
I don't know. I'm not a gynecologist.
You haven't gone up there with your...
Well, so the fibroids, they did a sonogram. So I went back to get that follow-up. And the doctor was like, look, you can do nothing, but the periods I was having, not to get graphic, were very heavy
Okay.
because these things were causing pressure, and I had to pee all the time
Okay.
because it was pressing on my bladder.
Damn, so they were
They were big. There were 2 of
masses.
them. Well, they were 5 centimeters each
I guess enough to...
cause issue.
Yeah.
She goes, you can do nothing. We could try that. They sometimes do these ablations or something. Long story short, she was like, the only surefire thing is a hysterectomy.
Which is wild, just to remove the whole thing, not just take them off.
Right. I guess because of the size of them.
And then
But
would they grow back potentially? How did they get there in the first place? Is what I'm wondering. And are they?
I think they're hormone driven. They're driven by the
Right. So
Which,
then
isn't that a bitch?
Yeah.
That my own
body did this to me. Thank you.
I don't know. There was all these science. So anyway, I was very nervous. I didn't want to commit to that, but she scheduled me for it anyway. So I was getting these emails. Your surgery is coming. I'm like, I didn't agree
Did I
with
sign
that.
off on that? Yeah.
Like, I wanted to think about it, and then she scheduled like a follow-up, and I brought Brett with me, and I said, I think I just need to do it. Like, these aren't going to get smaller. They're going to cause more problems. I'm not using my uterus. I'm 45. I'm not having babies.
Yeah.
What do I need it for?
Right. I guess to help regulate hormones, but in your case, it was going against you and giving you these
Masses.
things. Yeah. Because I was always discouraged of getting a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
When I was like in my 20s, because I thought, I didn't want kids and I didn't want it, which is wild that a doctor can tell you no on that, but then they can say yes on like changing your gender. I mean, that's a whole thing.
That's a whole podcast in and of itself. But
which I guess like hindsight, I'm glad that she like had told me no.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't for like very hardcore, seriously like going for it, but she's like, no, you don't want to do that. Because she said like, oh, you'll hit menopause right away.
only if they take your ovaries.
Oh, okay. Because that's what deterred
Which
me.
is so bizarre that I have mine.
They're just floating.
I don't know where they are.
Yeah, they're
and then I asked that, and then their answer confused me, so I don't remember. But that was the one thing they were worried about. They're like, now, if we go in there, because they don't really see what's really in you until they're in there.
Yeah.
And so the ovaries look good to them on a sonogram, but they had all these caveats.
Okay.
So I was like, am I going to come out like with a dick or something? I'm like,
am I going to be Stephanie after this? What's happening?
Because they were like, they didn't know how they were going to be able to get it out. Like, because they can pull. The less invasive way is to pull it out your vagina.
Which blows my mind.
And I thought, well, that doesn't sound good, but
Like
it's better than getting cut from hip to hip, which is what they had to do.
A C-section, yeah.
Essentially, yeah. But they didn't know that. The doctor's like, I'm not sure how this is going to go until I'm in there.
Which, it's like, and you want me to sign off on this.
I
You
know.
want me to go under with all these unknowns.
Unknowns. And so when I woke up, and then again, the ovaries, if they took the ovaries, then full-blown menopause right when you
Immediately.
wake up. Like,
Yeah.
the hot flashes and the...
You wake up sweating, like hot flashes.
Right, like you're a grandma.
Yeah.
But when I woke up, my first question was, did they have to cut? And they were like, yes. I was like, shit. And I was like, do I have my ovaries? And they said yes. So I'm not in menopause.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
That is best case scenario.
I feel like a woman.
I am a woman. Look, feel, and am a woman still. I got my ovaries.
But it's so weird because I'm like, where do they go? What are they doing?
I think they're
Like,
just kind
what's
of...
happening?
They're just floating around and like they're going and visiting not your appendix because it's not there, but they're
Or your
going to
uterus,
the
'cause
other organs.
It ain't there either.
And just thriving. They're just having the best time of their
They're
life.
having a ball.
They don't have to work ever
They're
again.
just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
But they did see a cyst. They took a cyst off one of them. So there was all kinds
had
of
a lot.
things going.
So it's great that Brett did make you stay and then you could catch all of that.
Catch all of that.
But I think another life lesson also is to like, because you've been active like your whole life and like leading up to it, you were still active. And like, it was like maybe like a week after you had your C-section, you were like walking and like exercising.
Yeah, and they didn't like that.
You're supposed to wait like 4 weeks.
When
aren't
I
you?
went to my checkup, they kind of put the fear of God. Because if you might feel better, but it's still like a lot of internal healing that has to happen.
Which I didn't think about.
And
Yeah.
if you like rupture that, like shit can happen. So they kind of told me to cool my
Not-
jets.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because you again sent a video of you like doing stuff, and I'm like, you just had a C-section essentially. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I've heard it like put people like 4 weeks,
Yeah.
on their ass.
I know. I didn't get cleared to go back to the gym until like 7 weeks.
Wow, that's almost 2 months, which
So all
is
I
a
would
lot for
all
us.
I would do was walk with Ricky, and he's strong, so he would sometimes pull me. But now that's a distant memory, and I have a very lovely scar.
Yeah,
but-
it's just smiling under
Yeah.
your stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So what about you? Said you had some scare.
Yeah. So Vic also insisted that we go to the hospital or ER. It was like one day, like, you know, we had burgers or whatever, fell asleep on the couch, was like fine, woke up, we went to bed, and then it was like 1, 2 a.m. I wake up and I'm like sweating and I have like the worst chest pain ever. And like I've had like acid reflux before, but this like did not feel it. Like it felt different.
Yeah.
I was like, this is actual pain, and it doesn't matter how I move, drinking the water, doing the Tums, like none of it was like working, and it was just getting like worse. I mean,
That's so scary.
I was sitting up in bed, and usually like that kind of helps. And then the pain went to like my jaw, so then my jaw started hurting, and my hands, my fingers were tingling.
Oh no.
So I'm like, all right, I've not experienced any of this, and of course, you know, you do the Googs, and it was saying like heart attack.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I wake up Vic and I explain everything to him. But it's like, you know, I think I was like late 20s, you know, even at this age, I was like, that's really young for like a heart attack.
Yeah.
The only thing that was like in the back of my mind though is like my dad had gone to a hospital with like heart issues. So like genetically, am I predisposed to have heart issues at like an early age? So that was the only thing. But like, you know, I didn't want to go because we live in America and it will cost you
a fortune,
the arm and the leg just to be able to go. Right. And I'd like to keep those.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, but we ended up going because it was not getting better. And when we got there, again, it's what is hurting you? And then I sat and I waited until like they could go and see me. And then like, I don't know, they never gave me a for sure answer while I was there. They ruled out heart attack. So I did know that. They're like, you're not having a heart attack, but we couldn't tell you like what it is for you to be feeling like this amount of pain. Because even while we were there, it was still getting worse. I mean, it felt like I had like a snake or like a boa like wrapped around like my heart and it was like squeezing.
Eee, God, good Lord.
So I was having like hard time breathing.
That would make a cool tattoo though.
TM. I just sit there and think about it. Yeah.
Like a boa around
a heart, like squeezing.
Yeah. But did they give you a test to tell you that you're not having like?
Yeah, I mean they hooked me up to machines.
Oh, okay. Were you doing one of those EKG things or whatever?
Stuff. So they ruled out heart attack, and then they did blood work. They did other stuff, and still couldn't say what it was. They like guessed that it was acid reflux, but I was like, I am not a little bitch. Like, this is not acid reflux. Like, this is like, I have a high pain tolerance.
Right.
And I'm at like a 9 right now.
Yeah.
There's no way acid reflux could do this.
So what the hell was it?
So they sent me to a cardiologist. And
like days later?
Days later.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like a week something. And she saw nothing wrong with the ticker. Like, it was fine.
Weird.
And so she said she could send me to a specialist to see what it was. But I was like, no, I'm not spending any more money. As long as I know, like, my heart is fine, then it should be all right.
So you never found out what it was?
No, but she had guessed that, like, sometimes, I guess, like, and I don't know the medical terms or the names, but something can get flipped upside down. And then, like, acid can get stuck or trapped there. And so then like it feels like it's a heart attack, but it really is acid reflux, but it's like stuck. That was her best answer, and so that's what I'm going with. And now I don't eat tomatoes and bacon. And
I was gonna say, was it a bratwurst?
No, it was a burger with some tomatoes, and like, you know, I guess I like went and laid down immediately after.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, because I get asked. Ugh, yeah.
So I do these things now called posties, which I think other people call them hot girl walks. Other people call them fart walks.
Oh, after you eat?
After eat, I go and I walk, like, you know, around the block.
Yes.
To digest stuff.
That's really, my brother was telling me about that. He does a 10-minute walk after he eats.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I do it after every meal. Sometimes not dinner.
Interesting.
Because, like, we live in the city, so like, I'm not going to go out at dark.
Right.
So I kind of, like, walk around my house a little bit.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
That's a good tip, because I get acid reflux bad.
Yeah, I have Tums on the ready.
I take Prilosec, and I think it has some side effects out there that affect some of your organs. I'm like,
Were you taking that before you removed the organs?
Oh, now that you mention it, I think so. Could there be a correlation? But it's the only thing that really works for me.
Really? Not even the Tums?
Maybe I should go back to I've tried everything. But I should try these walks. These 10-minute walks.
Yeah.
After we eat.
Mm-hmm. Makes a difference.
Did we go on a walk after we had brunch? We walked to our cars.
Walked to the cars, yeah.
That's good enough. That's good.
I parked far.
Yeah, and the problem is I like hot sauce.
So, yeah.
I put hot sauce on everything. I'm like, this can't be good for acid reflux, but...
Right. I think it's all balance.
Yeah.
And then I heard, like chewing gum after meals, because then, something with, mint, and then, when you chew gum, you produce more saliva, and then that helps.
It gets it,
somehow
digesting or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. That's scary.
It was
very scary.
But then I was pissed off because it was
so much money.
Yes, thousands of dollars. And I'm like, fuck.
But you wouldn't have gone if you weren't in that pain, or if it So it's good that you right, because now you know
right. So there's
if you didn't know, you'd be like, I think I suffered
is it another heart attack? Yeah. I would always be wondering.
Yeah, you'd be wondering. Mm-hmm. So it's good that you went, but it is pricey as hell. My bills after both of those kept coming.
Yeah.
Because you got to pay the different the anesthesiologist, the that,
all of it.
And a lot of them are separate entities, so you get a separate bill. And
yes.
There was this one nagging one. It was $22. I don't even remember what the hell it was for.
Yeah. And
I paid it, but they kept sending me the bill. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I paid this.
Yeah, I paid off my bill, and then I had another one send me in for the full amount, and I'm like, no, I have paid all of that, and they're like, we're gonna send you to collections. I'm like, I
got the same.
I have fucking proof that I've paid. I'm not paying again.
Right.
So
I know.
Another lesson: don't pay everything that you get.
Well, they sent me a collections notice too. I'm like, is this hurting my credit score? It was only the $22.
Yeah.
I'm like, F off.
Yeah.
It's $20.
Go to that fuck field.
Fuck off, right off. So, but yeah, the bills but your health is worth it. So.
It is. It's an investment.
Yes. We only have one body.
Yeah.
One life.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you believe in the
reincarnation.
Yeah. I was just gonna say.
But even then, if you live it right or correctly, then you should be reincarnated to something a dog, better.
Oh,
but no, because you would get eaten.
Yeah.
Don't go to Springfield if you're.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets.
The cats.
Oh, good Lord.
All right, well, I'll do one more life lesson, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
I would say putting in the effort, because neither one of us teach at the boxing gym anymore. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, the relationship is important enough for me that at least once a month we get together and we at least reach out once a month to catch up and do everything, and I'm glad that we do.
Yeah, and it has to be mutual, because I get tired of being the only one, the
only
person
one reaching
doing the
out.
outreach, and then it's you know what? I'm just gonna not do that
and see if they do.
And friendships over the years have kind of fallen off, and that's okay, right? Because the ones that are worth it, you're gonna work.
Will stick around.
You're gonna work towards, and you
put the effort in.
You want to keep it going. So, but yeah, because people are busy, but you got to find time for it.
Right, and that's what I say.
Your friendships.
I hate the excuse of life is just so busy. It's all right, well, you make the time for what's important. Instead of doom scrolling on TikTok or watching a show,
you make time for what you really want. Right.
And that's relationship, that's workouts, that's meals.
I know. The people that say there's no time to work out. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
You're just not making it a priority.
Right. Work on your time management skills and your priorities. And yes, you can do it.
You can do it. You got to get up a little earlier, or work it into your lunch hour, or...
Yeah, it'll be an adjustment, but if it's worth it, you'll do it.
Yeah. Speaking of, we were talking about, I'm so busy. One of my coworkers that I don't really care for, so they shall remain nameless, sent an email about her overflowing plate.
Oh, that's another work vernacular.
Yeah, and I don't have the bandwidth.
God.
because of my overflowing plate. Really? And I'm not,
No one's
we're
plates?
Right.
No one's plates are full also?
Right. No one's plate has just like a little pea on it.
Right. You're in
Or
fucking
a carrot.
corporate America. Like, everyone's plates are fucking full.
Yeah.
You show up to the buffet and they overload the plate.
Right.
No one is getting balanced, proportional meals.
And in the time it took her to draft this email and send it, she
You
could have
could have
taken
done.
care of the project.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't that hard.
100%.
So then she sends it to her boss, and then her boss sends it to my boss. And it's all this, like,
Back and forth.
noise.
Yes.
When really, she could have just taken care of it.
Yeah. Making something out of nothing.
Right. My overflowing plate.
Yeah.
Gag.
With a spoon.
Like, for real. So.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we usually end on a weekly wow. So for those that are just tuning in, weekly wow, it's like with words of wisdom, but used very lightly, or we do a chow, which is challenge of the week.
Oh, cool.
So that's where, we offer like some sort of like advice or words or a challenge that people have to do for like a week or however long. So I didn't know if you had something. I mean, this whole episode
a challenge.
This whole episode has been kind of like a words of wisdom, but
Yeah. On the health and the fitness front, I would challenge, like, because I don't know, I'm just reading more and seeing more about protein and elevating that.
Yeah.
So whether it's through like a hard-boiled egg in the morning versus your even a
Donut.
fruit or donut,
Yeah.
or even like something that's like sweet, like try a hard-boiled egg. I become obsessed with cottage cheese. It's really healthy and full of protein. So if you like that, just try to incorporate more protein and water. Lots and lots of water.
Yeah. I mean, you're made up mostly of water and protein. So why wouldn't you intake that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And
I
then
like
these
that.
fart walks.
Yes, do the postie. So get your protein, drink your water, and go on your fart walks.
Yeah, I really, if you want to scrap, because that's a lot, I would
Focus on one of those.
Yeah, I would do the walks. I think it's great
Yeah, start with the walks.
to help with digestion and the acid problem, and
like
just get more steps in.
your blood sugar levels too. Because like after I eat, I get sleepy. But if you go on the walk, then it kind of wakes you up.
Yeah, and you're like, I work half the time from home, and I'm chained to my desk. There's always work. There's always someone messaging me. There's always work coming in, but the work is gonna always be there. I have to remind myself.
Will always
You
be there.
owe it to yourself and your company
To take care of
to
yourself.
take care of yourself and do that walk. You can do a 10-minute walk after you have lunch.
You can step away. Yeah.
Yeah,
For 10
like
minutes.
it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like
It will not
the
crash
the
and
company
burn.
will continue to run,
Yes.
and I have to remind myself of that.
With
too,
or without
so.
you, it will continue to go.
Yes, exactly. So,
Love
yeah.
it. Well, thank you, Steph.
Well, thanks for having me. This was
I know.
so fun. This
It
is my
was fun.
first podcast.
I know, and you
I've
did
ever been
great.
on. Thank you.
Yeah, very natural.
I mean, I can talk arm off a leg off a chair if you let me. So I mean, it's very fitting.
yeah, it was
So,
perfect. Very
you were
mindful.
a good host. It was really fun.
It was fun. We'll do
So,
it again.
all
Dynamic
right.
duo back at it.
Yeah, that's right. So,
right. Okay, bye.
bye. That was so fun.
It was
I feel like
fun.
it was very natural.
It is natural. That's what it was
Yeah.
supposed to be. Yeah.